Hi. I have a lot that's been floating around inside of me. Um, and I waited a while to come on here and share it because I wanted it to feel right, like the right time. I wanted to feel really connected with what was coming through for me in meditation and just kind of coming into me to share. I've been listening to a lot of different things. I've been listening to, hi Lori, I've been listening to Wayne Dyer a lot lately. Wish is fulfilled. I've been listening to a lot of different. Uh, I guess I don't want to say gurus, but like very, very connected people. I've been reading a lot, meditating a lot, listening a lot, and sharing with my daughter who has, our children have wisdom beyond what we could even fathom because we have forgotten, right? So this idea of every belief that we believe about ourselves has brought us to where we are today. Okay, and where did we get those beliefs? All kinds of places, from outer circumstances, teachers, parents, friends, TV shows, all kinds of places. And our children are exactly the same. Every belief our children have believed about themselves has brought them to where they are today. And so in one of my listenings of Wayne Dyer, he brought up this little saying or this little quote from Albert Einstein, and I even wrote it on here. Logic will get you from A to B, but imagination will get you everywhere. So our beliefs are coming from not our imagination. They're coming from outer circumstances. And it's not anybody's, good beliefs and not good beliefs, right? All of the above kinds of beliefs, and what these beliefs do is create circumstances in our lives. So we have wanted beliefs of ourselves and unwanted beliefs of ourselves. And then we create our movie that we call our life from these beliefs and other things called thoughts and things like that. But that all comes in the same form of belief. And then these beliefs create feelings inside of us, right? So yeah, and these feelings are what we carry and put out into our world, and that we project it out there. So children who are finding challenges in their world, in school in particular, which is what I've been talking about a lot lately, they are carrying beliefs of themselves of one form or another. And we have these amazing kids that are either our own or part of our family or part of our classroom who have these fabulous imaginations, right? Well, and imagine our imaginations creating, because their imaginations are fabulous, more than fabulous. And that's key right there. That's what I want us to focus on a little bit here, because I looked up the definition of imagination. I've been really kind of playing with this for about a week. And the definition of imagination is the ability of the mind to be creative and resourceful. So then I looked up the meaning of creative, and that has to do with original ideas. And then the meaning of resourceful is having the ability to find clever ways to overcome challenges. So if our imagination is a useful tool for creating original ideas that are resourceful to being able to find clever ways to overcome challenges, that is a powerful tool for us, right? And so then I was looking up meditation, because what is meditation? Meditation is where we are being mindful and tapping into our ability to allow our creative and resourceful ways to come to us to overcome challenges, or to live in a way that is peaceful. We want to live in a peaceful way to overcome challenges, to live in a mindful place of being, to undo stress, to overcome challenges. So if we are learning this as a culture, as grown-ups, and there are children learning it as well, obviously, as too, then if our children are powerful imagination creators, and their imagination is real to them because our imagination is what's true for us, right? Then that is the key to when we are in meditation or in mindful ways. That is the key for us to be creating. I'm talking about our children here, creating those unique, creative ways and resourceful tools to overcome challenges that are unique to their own. So let's talk about this, right? Let's just kind of contemplate this a little bit here, because when tapping into our children's imaginative, creative energies, that's where they're going to find the answers to overcome whatever stressors that are causing their anxiety, or the beliefs that they are carrying about themselves that are creating anxiety or stress or frustration, or what. It's the same for adults. But I'm telling you this because children are so tapped into their imagination. It's so perfect and beautiful for them to realize that their imagination is their key, their tool. I don't know. What do you think? That's what I think. I know, because I've been doing this with them, and not what came to me this past week is that this is the key that is why it's been working for them so easily. And for all of us when we're meditating and visualizing, and athletes do this, right? This is scientifically proven. Athletes are doing this. What's his name? Tony Robbins. He teaches people to do this. I don't know. I can go on and on. The list is endless of all the people who have been using this. And if children are the masters in imagination, there's the key for them, right? And I completely believe that instead of approaching school as this challenging situation, because that could be why it's challenging, because the beliefs that the children are holding, and I'm not talking about all children, I'm talking about the children who are finding school challenging for whatever reason, right? So we want to work with that scenario, those beliefs. We want to tap in to that dial in their heart space and get into that centeredness, that quiet space, align to that, and then work on those thoughts, those beliefs, and it will change the way they bring themselves into that environment, and it will change the environment. And I know this because I've seen it. I've experienced it myself as the teacher and as the parent. I didn't know it when I was a child, but I do know now. So it's some amazing work, really. And what's cool is this, this isn't something that is just play or frou-frou. I mean, this is real. This is a real tool for our beloved loves of our lives. I mean, it's a real tool for us as grown-ups too, right? So I just find so much value in meditation. And here's the thing that I was saying before. Meditation doesn't have to be where you sit totally silent and still. You can be riding your bike. You can be in the flow of something else and still be creating different pathways in your brain of those thoughts by using your imagination. I mean, sometimes I'll be in the shower and I'll start, going through my little toolbox, and you could be walking. Thich Nhat Hanh talks about walking meditation. There's just no one way to do this. Hi, Bob. I didn't even see you on here. Thanks for coming. No one way. It is whatever it is that when you're in that zone, that is your zone. That is where you're in the flow of you. right? And they'll, when I work with kids, we kind of have a discussion. We do. We have a discussion on what that feels like, because it's going to be a little different. Everyone's unique, and they're going to feel it a little differently. But the beliefs that they have brought to themselves, that they carry around towards their unwanted circumstances, or even their wanted circumstances, have come from outer sources, most often the unwanted ones, right? And imagination can be where we go. And we want our children to have success, and we want to be in control of that, but we can't be in control of that. But they are, and they get it. They totally get it. They really do. Kids are they're so fabulous. When they're in that, I'm kind of reading what I wrote for you, because for a week, I've been chewing on this and feeling on this, and it's just what is. They have the science behind it, where the athletes sit, right, and they visualize themselves before the game, and they see themselves playing the game and being in the game the way they want to be, and then they actually play the game that way, and then it happens the way they want it to be, right? Same, right? We can do that with our kids, right? Why not? We do it, right? It's so possible. But I also feel that as parents and teachers too, we create the environment where our children grow up, or where our children spend time in our classroom. We create that. We hold the space in the environment. There's no doubt about that. The children can contribute to that and learn how to do that, and be in total joy and collaboration of that. They'll love it. And in the family, they do. But in the classroom, it's a learned idea, because the conditioning is they walk into the teacher's classroom, except for particular schools that do it differently, because there are some, obviously, and some teachers, obviously, that do as well. But the idea here, what I'm talking about, is that they hold their own creation of, and I always say to them, the movie that they live in, like the movie that they're playing in, but their life, right? And sometimes I'll even use a video game as an example, because they really understand that, like Minecraft. That's a fascinating little game there. But like I say, I think it's called the peaceful mode. Right now it's not coming to me, but there is a mode on that game where they go into and nothing can get them, and they can do whatever they want. And I say to them that is, when they're centered and they're in their peaceful place, when they're in their imagination, and I would say their magic eye, for example, that is where they can choose. They get to choose which character they're going to play. How are they going to feel about this? What choices do they see themselves making? This is the tool, right? And so if they have a belief that they can't read, I mean, they're going to believe that belief until it's shifted and seen differently. And so I'm trying to think of, for me, here's a perfect example for me, and this is pretty personal. I have always had a very challenging time riding on stationary bikes. I don't know why. I can ride on a regular bike, but a stationary bike has been challenging for me. Like 5 minutes was the longest I could do ever. And I would be just dead exhausted. And as I have been growing through my exercise program and believing differently about myself in strength and endurance and all kinds of other things, I hop on the bike for 15 minutes, and it's like I look at the time and wow, it's been 15 minutes and it feels like it's only been 2 minutes, and it's so much easier. I could keep going. And that only happened in, I don't know, maybe a month, maybe less, when I really started focusing on that for myself, on the bike situation and exercise and endurance. And here's another story. Back when and I didn't even realize I was doing this, but when I was 8 years old, I didn't read until I was 8. And I was working in the school library, volunteering in there. And they decided to put me on the card catalog. This was back when we had card catalogs, and we would have to take the little card out of the book and alphabetize it and read to put it in alphabetical order in the card catalog back in so that someone else could check out the book. Well, so you had to read, and I wasn't reading, right? My belief at 8 years old was that I couldn't read. Hi, Erin, thanks for coming. Well, of course that's not true, right? That's not true. Any belief that does not feel good to me is not true. I am all that is. I am all that I know to be true for me. So here I was picking out these cards, alphabetizing them and reading them. And when I remember the moment when I put a card in and I thought, what just happened? And I realized in all of me, I could feel the joy exuberating out of me. I'm reading all of this. And I stopped, 8 years old, and I backed away and I looked around because I wanted to tell somebody, but there was, they were all busy as a library. So I decided I was just going to stop what I was doing. I was going to go to the bookshelf and pick out a book for me. And I went straight to that bookshelf, picked out the book titled Puppy Love, sat down on the floor and read the whole book from cover to cover. Went home, read it to everyone in my family, went to school the next day, read it to my teacher. All I'm saying is I could read all that time, and my belief changed because inside of me somewhere it showed me, hello, here it is. And so had I been aware of what I know now sooner, it just would have been different for me. I wouldn't have experienced all the other pain that I experienced, but it's okay because it brought me to a place to where I am now, where I can relate and understand and have compassion for those in that circumstance, and can make change for them or support them in whatever they're needing, because it just isn't true. And I even have more stories. So here's a story about a student in my classroom. She believed, so every belief our children believe about themselves has brought them to where they are today. So this child in first grade believed that she was a non-reader. Have I been there before, right? She sat down. She said she would never get to grade level, no matter what. She was just always going to be a non-reader or not reading well. She was just not good at reading. And what I noticed was that this was carrying over, obviously, into the rest of her life too. Like, she had other areas of her life where she lacked confidence, and I can relate because that was me too. I get it. So, we were doing our meditations and mindful activities and connecting sessions and different things we were doing, all kinds of really fun stuff. And she really loved it. She really took it on. She started to do part of the different activities that helped her connect to herself and to who she really is inside. And she started to see herself differently. And she started to want to read. And she started reading to her dog and reading to her mom and reading, for the little books, right? And she just really wanted it so much. Where before there was this fear, I don't believe in myself. So she started believing in herself greatly. And she started standing up in front of the class and playing her music and singing and doing different things that she was just not going to do before. And when we sat down to do a test that we give, teachers give their students tests, 3 times a year, she was quite below the level that was supposed to be, where she was supposed to be according to governmental standards. And she was a little bit nervous. I can see the anxiety on her. And I said, okay, hold on here. I said, I want you to choose again. What would you like? How would you like to approach this situation? What would you like? What do you need? Because if she was going to be nervous, we weren't going to do it in that time. I just wasn't going to put her under that kind of pressure. And she said, I'm not sure I really want to. And I said, okay. I said, it's up to you to decide. if you want to test now or later, it is something that I do need to do. It's part of what I need to do being in this circumstance. And I said, but, you have tools. And then she remembered, and she said, oh, okay, I'm going to feel my heart space. I said, good. So we sat there together and we felt our heart space, and she got into a centered place. And it only took her a few minutes. She came out and she said, okay, I'm ready. And she read past, she like blew away 4 levels, and she was on grade level. And I was astonished just as much as she was. We were so excited. We hugged, and I said, this is beautiful, check you out. But what happened was she blew through that false belief of herself. And I said, well, we're done here. Unless you want to go further, this is it. This is the only place that you needed to be for this. And I said, if you want to keep going. And she said, oh, I want to keep going. So we kept going, and she actually went up another level. So she was actually 5 levels above where she believed that she was. So the sky's the limit. And I just love this. I love that it's just so true. And I know that sometimes people, people question it. And how can that be true? How can that be? We are what we believe we are. We can do what we believe. And maybe there's a process that we need to be going through in order to get there. But I do know that imagination will get us everywhere, just as Albert Einstein said. Logic, our minds are only going to get us so far, because logic is limited, where our inner being, our imagination, our truth of who we are is expansive and infinite. And when we truly know that, or when we don't even understand it, because we don't have to understand it, but we believe in it, in who we are, sky's the limit. That's just where I come from, and I've seen it in myself, as I said. And I have stories upon stories, but I don't know if there's anyone in here who's watching, if there's any questions or any feelings or thoughts, chime in, because I've been really holding this space a little bit to share with you, and I'm just so excited. But I just feel like, why not? Why don't we use that powerful imagination of theirs to change beliefs within our children, to serve them well? Why not? I mean, it'll make a huge difference, right? Gosh, well, that was what I had to share with you today, and I hope it makes a difference for you, because it certainly has been showing up for me in so many different ways. Yeah, when we're in meditation, we can find clever ways to overcome challenges, because the answers come from our heart. And we're all unique and different, so our answers are going to be different. So, for example, that amazing student of mine, that was her way, that was her challenge. Everyone is different. There's another child who I had in class years ago, another amazing little girl. She was in first grade. I had a mix of first and second grade, and she was in first grade, and we were sitting down on the floor doing math together, and she said, oh, Miss Cheney, she said, I don't know how to do this math. I don't remember. So I went over it with her a little bit. And then the next day she came, I don't know how to do this. And I said, I believe that you do. I said, give yourself a minute, find your heart space, and see if the answer is in there. And so she said, oh, okay. And so she sat down. She went into we didn't have a peace corner in that room, but we had a space where people could go. So she walked over to that space, sat down, and found her heart space for a little bit. I don't know how long it took her. Not very long, 5-10 minutes maybe. She came on back and she said, okay, I know how to do it now. And she sat down with total confidence, went right through that math problem with ease. And she had a twin sister in the class with her. And her sister was smiling with sheer joy for her sister. She was so excited. And they were just jumping up and down together. They just couldn't wait to show me how she did know the answer. Now, some of you might say, well, she just remembered. She found the confidence inside of herself. To me, that's powerful. That's empowerment. She did not again come to me when she had a question about math that we had already, gone over as a class. She would turn to herself. So to me, that's sheer empowerment. Remembered or found the answers within. It's a connection, heart-mind connection, in my opinion, and I'm just thrilled for that kind of empowerment for children. I don't know about any of you, but that excites me. And as a teacher, it's powerful to see when your children own their own learning. And as a parent, wow, right? Because if she, and which they did, many children who are using these techniques, using meditation or some other visualization form or something else that they're using, mindful ways of being, taking deep breaths, there's all kinds of tools. If they're using it for that, and they know that it brings them success, where they feel that, so that little girl and her sister, they used to tell me that they were showing their brothers and their sisters, oh, this is how we find our heart space, and they were showing their mom and dad, because it was about bringing that out into the world so everyone can feel that empowerment. I know for me, when I'm facing something that I don't understand, I will do the same, right? So today I was questioning, how do I write this? I have to write something up for a friend of mine today. And I was like, how do I write this up? What do I write? What do I say? So I was taking some time and just listening. And for me, I actually see words in my mode of mindful moment or meditation. And sometimes I see images that come to me, and children will do this the same way. And then I was able to kind of, okay, I know how to word this, I think. So I sat down to start typing, and it just came to me. So was I remembering something, or was it coming from my inner me? I don't believe it was coming from my mind, because my mind was saying, I'm confused, I don't know, which is what was happening in both of those two little girls. Well, I don't know how to do this. I can't remember. I need my teacher to tell me. But they found that they held the answers within themselves, and me too. So that is the work of the imagination of our children, finding creative ways and resourceful tools to overcome challenges. So it says in my definition, the ability of the mind to be creative and resourceful. Well, we are going into our mind's eye when we meditate, right? We're going into our inner beingness. I mean, it's all interconnected in here. All of our bodies, our mind body's connected to our emotional body, which is connected to our physical body, because it's holding all of this together. And what's holding the core of that is our spirit body, our light, our inner being, our God, our heart space, all of that, whatever you want to call it. They're all connected. So yeah, when we can get into our imagination, or a space of mindful listening, yeah, I believe that is where our children will be able to form changes in those beliefs, like new forms, new pathways of those beliefs that they carried with them that were unwanted. And then it will show up differently for them in their lives. Absolutely, with certainty, without doubt. Absolutely, I have no doubt about it. Yeah, so you can do some research on that, because it's been proven scientifically as well, and it works. It works, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. And if you're interested, message me here. We'll have a little chat. I hope you're having a great evening. Thanks for listening. I adore you all, and have an insightful night.